So good evening. Ooh, wow, it's loud. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bruce Humphrey, and I'm the program director for Leadership Mountain View. Woo! So this year has been kind of amazing. I was a student in Leadership Mountain View, class of 2015, best class ever. And I got the opportunity this year to facilitate this wonderful leadership program. And during that time, I had the opportunity to meet 32 of the most incredible individuals that I am happy will be joining the LMV alumni. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. So what I'd like to do today, or what I'd like to do right now, is invite our mayor, Ken Rosenberg, to come up and welcome us and have a few opening remarks. So, Ken?
Is this on? Oh, well. This is where we stand in city council meetings when you want to read proclamations. I feel like Phil Donahue. So tell me about it. Okay. Kids, Phil Donahue was waiting for it. So congratulations to people, the class of 2017. No. So I am a graduate of the class of 2004, best class ever. So, you know, everybody comes to Leadership Mountain View with a little bit of a different story, a little different reasons. Some of you may be required, maybe city employees, for example, should go through the program. Maybe they're chamber members, sending employees from their company through, like Google and so forth. Leadership Mountain View is a leadership program very unlike any of the others in the area. It stands out as the best, not only for longevity and the quantity of alums that it has, but also for just the quality of the programs, and interestingly, for the amount of time it takes to go from start to finish. For the other leadership programs that I'm aware of, they're like 4 hours once a month, if that. So this is a quality program that you all decided to participate in, and you should be thrilled that you've made it through the end. I remember not understanding exactly what I was stepping into. I had ulterior motives when I joined Leadership Mountain View, or when I applied. I had just started at Morgan Stanley, and I wanted clients, and I thought, hey, this is a great way to network. So that's what I did. I had ulterior motives. I wanted clients, and I wanted business. Turns out that by the second or third class, I realized that that was a silly thing to do because this was meaningful content that I was being introduced to. And I started to form ideas of how I could be involved in the community. So that was in 2004, and one thing led to another after years and years. And I eventually ran for city council, won a seat. I was lucky enough to win, and this year served as mayor. So, yeah, thank you. Leadership Mountain View, I don't have a stat, and I forgive me for not asking in advance, but I do know that many graduates of Leadership Mountain View have actually gone on to either campaign, and many of those people who have campaigned have actually won. I know from my own class of 2004, I'm the third person who ran for city council and the first to win. So it's fun to look out at you and say, okay, who here will be the mayor someday? I'm not 100% sure where to go with this. I want to say so many different things. We're really looking to you now for what you will endeavor to do next. Some of you came here because of a path you were already on, and I'm hoping that through the introduction to the various parts of Mountain View, through to the civic, through the safety organizations and whatnot, that you may have a germ of an idea that you can grow. I don't know where it'll take you. You probably don't yet know either. But if you get involved and more involved than you have been thus far, and people start asking you, are you going to run for council someday? Pay attention to that question. A few years later, it may migrate and mutate to, so when are you running for council? And that's the sign that you need to jump in. So that was the path that I was on. welcome to the People's Chamber. Congratulations on tonight, and I'm going to pass this back to Bruce, but I couldn't be more proud to be here with you today.
Thank you, sir. So now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, former mayor and current council member, Pat Showalter, and also friend.
Hi, everybody. Last year I got to talk to the class, and I guess I did okay because they wanted me to come back. And part of the reason I did is because I brought props. And I was in the class of 1996. So that's 21 years ago. I mean, literally, people who were born that year can drink now, right? Okay, but I think it's fair to say that we were one of the best classes ever, even if it did take us a long time to get there, because we produced 3 female mayors. And that's pretty good, right? Rosemary Stasek, Ronit Bryant, and then myself last year. And I really don't think at the time that anybody except Ronit kind of had it in their trajectory. I really didn't. I was serving on the planning commission, and I was having a great time doing that, but I really wanted to get on with my career as a civil engineer, and I sort of didn't really see moving on in politics except in the way distant future, which I guess you would say 21 years is, right? You could legitimately say that. But I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about how Leadership Mountain View has changed and how Leadership Mountain View has stayed the same. Okay? Because I think that as we go through time, we have the tendency to sometimes think that everything is different. We have cell phones, we have driverless cars, you know, we have all these wonderful tools that we can use. But we're still the same Homo sapiens that were, we sort of evolved to be, I think, about 8,000 years ago. And we have, you know, all of the, you know, the psychological and physical needs that we had then, and we meet some of them very differently, and some of them not so differently. And that's really why it's so important to have programs like Leadership Mountain View that teach us how to channel all of those human needs into really positive things. Now, the year I did it, we had kind of a hokey theme, or I thought it was a hokey theme. It was the 7 C's, right? So every month we had another C. And I was going to share them with you because really, in the time that we are facing now, they are no less really important. I mean, as Jill Denny said earlier, just a few minutes earlier, and Ken said earlier today at something else, we really need to channel and encourage and advertise the good things that are going on in our communities and our lives, because there are quite a few things that are going on in our nation that we're not happy with. And so it's really important to remember and continue with the good things and to celebrate them. So the first one was commitment. That was the first week, the first month, and you all know about that, right? I mean, getting up to make those, is it still an 8 a.m. start? Yeah. That was really a stretch for me. I had a lot of trouble with that. And in addition to that, I am not, you know, I've graduated to be able to sit a long, long time. I have to say, one of the things that you've learned in Leadership Mountain View is to sit for a long time and concentrate. That is excellent training for the City Council. In case you haven't noticed, we have lengthy meetings, serious standing fatigue, right? So you've learned how to deal with that. I found it's such a big problem that I got up even before the 7 o'clock time that would have normally been required and would go exercise because I found I couldn't sit still, for the whole day if I didn't do that. And I don't know how many of you had to do that, or just maybe you like to exercise, and that's wonderful. But I just couldn't sit still, and I really realized that after like the third one that required that much. I didn't have to do too much preparation, maybe a couple hours worth of reading, but I did have to get the wiggles out every time. Then the second one was communication. Very important for us to communicate. We communicate very differently now, and I think we have to be, we have to be very wary that we communicate properly. But at the same time, it's really important that we step up and do that. And I hope that all of you will post this on your Facebook or whatever your method of choice is, and celebrate what you've accomplished, because it's a big deal. Then the third one is contribution. Leadership Mountain View really aspires to teach you and encourage you and inspire you to make a contribution. And we all know that in our communities, there are thousands of ways to do that. And I know, looking around at this audience, I've worked with many of you on various projects, and you're making a tremendous contribution. And I'm sure you will continue to. And I look forward, I hope, to working with all of you at one time or another on a contribution. And I would just like to say that, okay, city council may be one trajectory if you think about, but on the way, there are so many things that we need help with. All the commissions are certainly on there. The Planning Commission, the Parks and Rec Commission, the Library Board, all of those things need dedicated people who will spend a lot of time and a lot of brain cells on it. So, we hope that some of you or all of you will step up to one or two of those and give it a try. Conflict resolution. Okay, well, that's still a biggie, right? Character. I think we are all measured by our character, and everybody judges. We all judge each other all the time. Are you just a character, or are you a fun character? Are you somebody that we can trust? And really, all of those things can be good at the right and appropriate time. Are we compassionate? Compassion is really a significant commitment that we need to work on. We have structural problems in our, in our housing that creates all sorts of sort of uncompassionate situations that, we've made some major changes in with the passage of rent control, and we'll have to see how that pans out. But hopefully, it will work as intended. Another one is creativity. Here we are at the center of innovation for Silicon Valley, and we hear about creativity all the time. But it means really different things to different people. Some of us are creative artistically, some of us are creative technologically, some of us are creative philosophically, or some of us have really good skills of collaboration. And then the other one that's here is celebration. Another one that's here is celebration. And that, of course, was the last one. And that's what we're here for today. But my favorite of all these C's is one I want to talk about a little bit more, is collaboration. One of the things that I think is so magical about Leadership Mountain View is it brings together people from our business community, from our education community, from government, from arts. And many of you would not have rubbed elbows had it not been for this program. And because of the longevity of it, not only did you rub elbows, but you really got to be friends. And the other thing about this that's so wonderful is you're all here together in Mountain View. And most of you are going to stay in Mountain View for quite a long time. So you can carry on these relationships that you've built and do great things. And I hope a lot of those things will just be social. Because I think that one of the things that you can never value enough is friendships. And this has been an opportunity for you to forge important friendships. And you should spend time and energy on those. for your own personal good and your friends' psychic good and the good of the community. But because you have met people who are from kind of a different, slightly different sector, because, for instance, when I was on here, I was a soccer mom. And I knew all, you have a question about PTA, I was there. I was ready, or volunteering in the classroom. If you needed to design a, to organize an event where there were going to be 500 kids, I was there. But I didn't know anything about the Mountain View businesses except how to spell their names. And I needed to learn that. And frankly, I'm still learning because they keep changing, which is really exciting, actually. But that was very good for me. And I actually think it wasn't bad for the business people to meet a soccer mom either. And, and to find out that, you can go on from being a soccer mom to, I went back into, civil engineering, and then I've got inspired to run for office again. And as you know, I won, along with my other two colleagues who are sitting here in the 2014 election. And we have just really been having a great time doing things that we think matter a lot for Mountain View. I know that Lenny and I and Ken were sort of comparing notes at the end of our first year, and we said, I got to vote to raise the minimum wage. And it mattered. I never thought I'd get to do that. There are some other things that we've gotten to do that have been really exciting. So I urge you to collaborate with the friends that you have made here. And I also urge you to step into your role as an alum. One of the things that is unique about Leadership Mountain View is that the alums pretty much carry on the program. We have the executive director, and we get lots of guest speakers, but there's sort of a committee for each of the months that puts together the programs. And so you'll be, wonderful fresh eyes and fresh ideas for putting together next year's program and the program really going forward. I hope that there was a month, a subject that you really cared about, that you'd like to continue with and help shape as you go forward. And in Leadership Mountain View, you have an opportunity to do that. It's a good thing to take advantage of and continue the networking. So the other thing I wanted to just share is that you've gotten to this point, and everybody's recognizing the leadership skills that you were developing, and we're talking about how valuable they are, and we really mean it. This isn't a sort of an alternative fact or just lip service. This group will, individually and collectively go on to do great things. And that is a big deal for our community. And we put a lot of time and effort in it. You're welcome to City Hall. The Chamber of Commerce works tirelessly on it. Businesses open their doors and feed you and give you house room for a day, and go through all the name tags that's logistics that are required. And then the nonprofit groups help. You've got to go to El Camino Hospital. I mean, everybody that opened their doors to you thinks that this is important. So don't forget that. This is important. And thank you so much for having me come back again. And thank you so much for the time that you've devoted to this program. And I look forward to working with you all in the next few years. Oh, and if anybody wants to share my notebook, it's I'm glad to do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. So our next speaker is representing the Mountain View Chamber of Commerce. And I've known Kim for few years now, we've had the opportunity to work on art and wine together and get to know each other and even occasionally have a glass of wine together, which is awesome. So please help me welcome current board chair of the Mountain View Chamber of Commerce, Kim Kofer.
Thank you, Bruce. I want to call attention to my chamber colors that I chose to wear this evening. We got our green and then the celebration of leaders and art and wine purple. So thank you so much. I'm actually here representing the chamber. One of your classmates couldn't be with us this evening, Tony Cyrus, who is the CEO of the chamber. So I, as the chair of the board of directors, am here to congratulate you on behalf of not only the chamber staff, our board of directors, but all of our membership for having successfully gone through this 9-month leadership process. So congratulations to you. We've had a couple of opportunities. I know you've seen my face a couple times in class. It is, as Pat stated, an opportunity to go back and participate, if you'd like, in the next classes. And one of the things I did was immediately after graduating in 2013, Lori? Thank you. I went and joined LMV Council and was able to be a participant in how the way that those days ran. So we were together in December, and that's when I spoke about small actions, big rewards. And then we were together, I believe it was March, when we were literally putting out fires. So I see those 2 days as example of what life is, right? Actions, rewards, daily we're putting out fires, and that is a way of that I, chose to look at how my time on LMV was. Well, what you will find is one of your greatest rewards is your classmates. This class of 2017. Now, when I moved to Mountain View in '94, I thought I knew everything by the time I went to my LMV class. I didn't realize at the time that within 2 years I would be the next door neighbor to our future mayor. So Ken and I were neighbors back before we were doing anything in the community. And I thought, gosh, I'll join the chamber. I did as Ken did, which most people do when they join the chamber, and that is you have a business that you want to promote and get the word out. And I'm a real estate agent, and I thought in 2004, after living here for that many years, already 10, I knew everything there was to know, and I was really wrong. And I'd like to see a show of hands of how many people before they went into LMV thought, what could they possibly tell me that I already don't know? Okay, only one person, okay, Theta, yes, okay. Having run for council and having gotten to know so many people already, by the time you get to LMV, you think, well, there's so much to learn and you already know that, I don't have to tell you that. But your most valuable resource is each other. I found that because of what Pat just stated, all the different sectors that are represented, that at any time you could pick up the phone and call someone. I could pick up the phone. How did I know that the city clerk was going to be my class of 2013 classmate? If I have a question about how the city runs, I could just call Lori. If I needed to, I don't know, I know, you met him at Police and Fire Day. Armando Espeda, SWAT. How cool is that? I have a SWAT person in my cadre of people from my class of 2013. So if you have future questions, if you have future needs, you have each other. Yes, you have the speakers who came to speak to you, but there is an inroads to every question you want answered, every project you have an idea about, any avenue you want to go around, be it for business or personal reasons, right here in your class. And that's such a cool thing to have. I'm going to keep referring to Pat because she said a couple things that actually really apply to what I'm stating, and that is, but also have fun with them. And I mean, you can band together and say, hey, class of 2017, we're going to go volunteer for the Art and Wine Festival and have a booth, and we're just going to get all of our crew there. I mean, there's a lot of fun and camaraderie and the social events as well. So now that you're graduating, what fire will you start as opposed to the fires we put out in March? What actions will you take? What rewards do you want to provide back to the community? What opportunities were made known to you during your 9 months together that you'd like to expand upon? What further connections do you want to make? What difference do you want to make? What idea or volunteer effort or business idea that you would like your classmates, your alumni, all of us with the city and or the chamber to help you fan that flame? Because we are here to help you do that and to continue beyond these doors this evening. So you walked in on day one as a leader just by being there, and you're walking out as a leader with, I think this kind of looks like a flame, doesn't it? With that flame. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak before you, and again, congratulations, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Kim. All right, so now comes the good part. So tonight you will be receiving certificates from the Chamber of Commerce, Anna Eshoo, Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, State Senator Jerry Hill, Assembly Member Mark Berman, Supervisor Joe Simidian, and from our Mayor Ken Rosenberg. So that's a pretty substantial folks that support this program. And so I want you to realize that this is something that you have done that is respected throughout this community at all levels of government. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. So if I could, at this time, if I could get Julie to come down to the podium, if I could get Lori to come up, if I could get, oh, I almost forgot. So, yeah. As it is also a tradition in the graduating classes of Leadership Mountain View to have two classmates speak on behalf of their class. And so the folks that were nominated to speak before you tonight are Alex and Deb. Alex works for the City of Mountain View, and Deb works for Google.
So, how do we do this? Since we only have one microphone.
No, I'll stand here. I'll stand here. No, we're good. We can do this. This is
I don't.
good.
Okay.
Yeah? You good?
Works for me.
We're good? All right.
How's everyone?
It's totally facing the wrong direction. This is super weird.
Okay. Ready? All right. Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Deb.
And we're both honored and slightly terrified that you, as our classmates, chose us to represent you today. When we first found out, we thought fake news all the way.
Or maybe the Russians got involved in the voting. Yeah. I mean, no pressure, right? Should we be funny? Should we be poignant and insightful?
Or should we just do what you and Anna did for your service project presentation and just bail and play a video instead? I didn't write that, Anna.
Thanks for that. Thanks so much for that. Well, not only do our classmates expect to be entertained, but you know that when Bruce says we have 5 to 7 minutes, that he'll give us until approximately 7:01 before he uses his command voice to get us to sit the heck back down.
Yeah, he's probably timing us with the stopwatch right now. You all know earlier today, he
Right?
kept,
Oh my God.
kept doing this.
Well, so Bruce, really, honestly, Bruce wrangling this class is like trying to get the attention of a bunch of teenagers on the last day of school, except that the high school students we met on Education Day were way more poised and accomplished than pretty much any of us.
So yeah, there's one thing I learned with the LMV experience is that compared to Mountain View avid high school students, we're a bunch of slackers. They rock.
Yeah, pretty much. But here's an interesting observation for you. You may recall the working styles exercise from Business Day at Synopsis that divided us all into buckets by working type. There were analytical, there was driver, there was amiable, and then there was expressive. Interestingly enough, y'all picked 2 amiables to deliver your graduation speech.
And we have to say, while we both generally agree with the characteristics depicted in the exercise, such as we gain support from others, we work cohesively, and we grow strong relationships. one of the things from the description said that we are slow.
To say that we were mildly offended would perhaps be an understatement. We are not slow. We wrote this speech 2 days ago because we procrastinated.
Big difference. Also, the other main characteristic of being amiable is that we're happy to let you think that you're in charge and you're making all the decisions so that the whole group can get to a better outcome faster, but we know who's really running the show.
Heck yeah.
Amiable.
Speaking of command presence, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Bruce's unique style. First off, doesn't Alex look dapper this evening? Yeah, he's learning how to cut loose from Bruce.
Yep. Have you noticed that when Bruce tells us to wear comfortable clothing, this is what he actually wears? Seriously, this is dress down day, comfortable shoes. Look at that. He's right out of GQ magazine. Styling. Casual.
Yeah, my dressiest day at Google is Bruce's weekend brunch look. You know, in Silicon Valley, a coat and tie generally means you're either an East Coast management consultant or you're an interview candidate. So I don't know how many jobs Bruce was interviewing for these last 9 months, but let's hope he gets one that keeps him close to LMV.
Okay, so what else makes the class of 2017 the best class ever?
Well, empirically, it's Bruce's best class ever because it's his only class ever.
That's right. Okay, but what did we learn?
We learned that we're the best class ever at building Lego helicopters under time pressure.
Yeah, that's right. How about something relevant to the graduation speech?
Okay, all right. Well, we learned that Lonnie and Steve can do a kick-ass Michael Jackson impression right on demand. Okay, fine. A real answer. Well, we learned from Senator Jerry Hill to find a cause that makes us mad and then channel being pissed off into political action.
And we learned to balance that passion out with Supervisor Simidian's 13 tips for successful advocacy.
We learned that Sarah is a creative marketing genius. She can sell you a box of energy and an AC/DC album at the same time.
We learned that small actions can lead to big rewards, as Kim just mentioned.
And that we can recycle clamshell containers.
Yes. We learned everyone has more than one story to tell, and if we surround ourselves with people who think like we do, then our perspectives will stay the same, obviously. But if we intentionally surround ourselves with people who have had different experiences, we get a better and broader point of view.
We also learned that El Camino Hospital has robots and how to mess with them.
We also learned about the critical safety net that CSA, SHAC, and the Day Worker Center provide our community.
We learned about the business case for diversity in hiring, about unconscious bias, and gender-neutral pronouns.
We saw what jail looks like in Mountain View and also smells like. Moral of the story, don't go to jail.
We learned that the Mountain View Fire Department once used the jaws of life to fold a car like a taco just to see if they could.
We also learned that Katie's always working, even at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it takes 2 phones to keep us informed and safe, obviously.
We also learned about our local housing shortage and how it's impacting various aspects of our community, from increasing socioeconomic inequality to tactical issues like retaining teachers at Graham Middle School.
We learned that you don't have to wait until LMV graduation to make an impact in the community.
Like Nancy's Spanish Language Civic Leadership Academy.
Or Ellen's new Biblioteca en Español at the Day Worker Center.
And that people of all backgrounds can find zen in flower arranging.
We also learned that Ryan's fallback career should be a venture capital firm. Come on, guys, fund it. Fund it.
And Tamika has a second life as an investigative journalist. She sure is not afraid to ask the tough questions.
But most of all, we learned that we're better together.
And that's something we can apply to everything we do in our community. In our time together, we've also shared some impressive life milestones.
Vivian hired her first employee.
Cherie got a new job.
Ryan became a father.
Woo. Andrea became a captain. And Jeremy bought a condo in Mountain View.
Yeah. In preparation for this evening, we asked you to provide one word that encapsulates your experience, your LMV experience.
LMV, in your words, is invigorating, humbling, stimulating, engaging, and amazing.
It's about people, it's about community, and it's about connection.
You felt surprised and challenged and enriched in these last 9 months.
And we think we can all agree that the LMV experience inspires service, unity, and hope.
Our leadership journey has been enlightening, informative, eye-opening, comprehensive, and even transcendent, which has created strong relationships.
So we can't wait to find out what's next for you all.
Bruce, was that under 7 minutes?
What time was that?
Woo!
Yeah? 6? All right.
Under 7 minutes.
Great job. Thanks. Thanks. So I'm going to tell a little bit of an embarrassing story then, because when Alex found out that he was nominated to do this, he was like, well, that can't be. It's like, that can't be true. And he happened to be absent the morning that it happened. So he's like, what in the heck is going on? So I had to send him an email. Well, I actually called him. And I said, Alex, it's going to be okay. And so actually, they did a great job. So thank you very much. So now it's time to get all your goodies and your bling. So if I could get Julie to come up, Ken, if I could get you here, Lenny, if I could get you right. Oh, I don't have my notes. Kim, you're going to be right here. And Pat, if I can get you right here. And good. And good. And all right. So yes, they're in alphabetical order. So as you hear your name called, please come up and get your certificates, and congratulations. After we get done with this, we'll take a group photo with the folks standing up here. And then after that, we'll go downstairs and have some refreshments. So, Julie?
Since I have the mic, I'm going to just also say something. It has been a true pleasure to go through this this year and to support Bruce. It's been wonderful to partner with you, Bruce, and to see the journeys that you have all been through together. And I want to also congratulate you, because not only do you have this community of each other, but you are joining over 650 alumni. So I really want to encourage you to continue to be a part of the alumni events. You can't escape. We're going to continue to communicate with you and let you know about what's coming up. So I'm looking forward to continuing to see you. All right. If you can get up, Alex Andrade. Sarah Astles. Mike Bernal. Anna Botello. Matthew Buffington. Chris Calvo. Steve Chesley. Theda Corns. Nancy Ducos. Lonnie Gary. Deb Henningsen. Cindy Hofen. Jeremy Hoffman. Tamika Hurd. Yeah. Andrea Cradafel. Cindy Lundberg. Janet Malzahn. Yvonne Montanez. Katie Nelson. Rosemary Nola. Nicole Fargo Nosic. Ryan Schroeder. Carrie Tialdi. Ellen Thane. Shri Wakoyak. Connie Chan Wang. Adrian Wong. And Vivian Yuan.
Okay, I think I have. So I think that you had an announcement. Yeah, someone. Oh, okay.
Okay, so just on behalf of all of us at LMV, we wanted to thank Bruce and Julie for all the time and effort that you guys put forth over the past 9 months. So we really appreciate all the hard work that you did for us. With that, we have a few little things for you. So Julie, if you want to come forward, we just have a little something for you. And Bruce, come on over. So this is a little alcohol just to thank you so much for all your time and effort. That's for Julie. And Bruce.
It's as big as him.
He said he liked Tito's vodka. We said perfect. And then one more. Oh, go ahead.
Apparently, this has been a tough class for me. Because if this is what I need after, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And then we also have a gift for Ryan. If you want to come here, Ryan. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah. That is awesome. Wow. And luckily, Liam's right here. Really get it himself. Yeah. Thank you so much, you guys. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're doing pretty good. Yep. We're getting a little bit of sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Lisa's doing great. She's here. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you all for coming, and we finished almost on time. So if I could get everyone to go downstairs and have a drink, and we need a group. We're going to do the group photo first, and then we're going to meet all the family downstairs and have a drink and maybe something to eat. So thanks again for coming. You want to take a photo with the class?